Are you struggling with symptoms like PMS, bloating, hair loss, fatigue, and weight gain that you cannot seem to shake but have no idea why? So today we are going to talk about the fact that hormones are involved in literally every single aspect of your health and metabolism. And for this very reason, even the slightest disruptions in your hormones can lead to devastating symptoms and impact how you feel every day and your ability to get results. And I think what's even worse, what I know what's worse, is that these symptoms are often brushed under the rug by doctors or your healthcare partners. And this happens because symptoms have been normalized in our society and they're considered kind of just part of the process of aging or just part of the female experience. But the truth is, if you ignore your symptoms, you're never going to get a solution, right? We can't just keep brushing your symptoms under the rug. And so until you address the underlying hormone and system disruption that is causing your symptoms, they will never go away. And it'll make it impossible for you to see any results. As an integrative clinical nutritionist, we take a different approach. Rather than brushing your symptoms under the rug, rather than just trying to ignore them or to hope that they'll magically go away, we face them head on and we use them as messengers to communicate what's happening in your body and how do we need to support it. So think of it like your symptoms are almost like a clue. They're your body's way of asking for support. And we're going to take those clues to solve the mystery of what's happening, who done it, and how do we create a plan that's going to resolve the scenario. That's how we solve this mystery. So to start, I'm going to give you the 4 most common hormone imbalances that my clients face, the common symptoms that we see with each. And at the end of this video, I'm going to provide you a link to a free assessment that you can take to start not only understanding what your symptoms are telling you, but to get a customized blueprint on exactly what you need to do to start supporting. So let's dive into this. Symptom number 1, or most common hormone imbalance, is estrogen dominance. This is when we have too much estrogen in your body as a result of it being produced at too high of a rate, too much is being stored in your tissues, or you're taking excess or external estrogen like hormone replacement therapy or hormonal birth control. So it's adding an influx of extra that you don't necessarily need. And in fact, this is the most common hormone imbalance that I see in clients and that we see in women just due to environment, lifestyle, hormonal birth control. Estrogen's not the enemy though. And so you shouldn't try to feel that it's the problem, but too much of any good thing is going to be a trouble. So the most common symptoms that we see with this are going to be heavy periods, sometimes with or without clotting, so if it lasts more than 7 days, hormonal acne, weight gain, especially in the hips or in the arms, and then fatigue or just generalized exhaustion. That second most common hormone imbalance that we see is low estrogen. So on the flip side, low estrogen occurs when the body stops producing estrogen. This happens most knowingly with menopause or in perimenopause. It also happens postpartum, and it can happen when stress is too high and it impacts your hormonal production system. But don't worry, we'll get to that. This normally happens to women who are over 40. However, we're seeing it happen more and more to younger women because of chronic stress. And typical symptoms of low estrogen include very light or non-existent periods, cycle irregularity, hot flashes or night sweats, and just low energy, as well as vaginal dryness or loss of sex drive or libido. The third most common hormone imbalance that my clients struggle with is low progesterone. So progesterone is your progestation hormone, and so it's only produced after ovulation, and it's produced to help support fertility. It's crucial for fertility. So if you're struggling with infertility, progesterone is a primary focus. What happens though is most women aren't ovulating because they're taking hormonal birth control, or even if your ovulation is disrupted due to things like stress or nutrient deficiencies or other hormonal disruptions, it can lead to impacts on progesterone production. And what a lot of people don't recognize is a form of estrogen dominance is actually just having an imbalance of estrogen to progesterone ratios. Common symptoms with low progesterone are brownish coloring, periods or a light period, PMS or moodiness, anxiety, depression, bloating, as well as fatigue. And then that fourth most common hormone imbalance is high cortisol. So stress is a natural reaction, but too much of stress can lead to an overproduction of cortisol. That's your stress hormone. When your body is severely stressed out, cortisol works to create a biological halt in the body, and it can impact other hormone production pathways, specifically estrogen and progesterone. So they're all interconnected. When you're struggling with high cortisol, you'll typically feel wired but tired. So you will have trouble falling asleep. You'll be tired all the time, but you can't really get any rest. You'll have trouble staying asleep. You'll gain weight easily, and you'll specifically hold a lot of your weight in that midsection. And you'll struggle with things like generalized fatigue and feeling almost inflamed or puffy. So now that you know the most common symptoms of hormone disruption, it's now time to understand what's happening in your body. So I invite you to take my free assessment. That's really going to help you understand, okay, these are what my symptoms are, and this is what they're telling me. And I'm going to give you a personalized plan with habits that you can implement immediately to start supporting your body today. Be sure to click that link down there to access the free assessment. And if you thought this video was helpful, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.